Today is June 2nd, 2026. It is 3:45 a.m. This is video number 2. Video number 1 is on PYT. Alright, so there's a lot to discuss on this channel. I just put this on my list, but it's further down. Let's start from the top. First tweet. Alright, let's pause this. Okay, so that's a GIF. Raise your hand if you believe all the details of Prince Andrew's work as an envoy was always known by the government, royal family, British media. The revelation are a farce. The investigation is a farce. The bare minimum will be done. Yeah, I've said this before. They all are working together. You scratch their back, they will scratch yours. So yeah, it will be under the rug. So there's me here. They all are part of it, which means who's going to take the fall? The losers are the people who risk their lives to gather surveillance, go to war, and protect these mother effers. Then these mother effers sell the info and send our kids to fight for those they are selling the infos. Who's going to sing? Alright, so this is some screenshot that I took regarding Charles taking cash, you know, the cash for honor. There's all of that investigation and all of that. Okay, pause and read. They had to know. There's no way they didn't, especially since he had security who most likely witnessed a hell of a lot. Okay, so there's all of that. That would have been me. Nothing will happen to that man. Raise the hand. Sham investigation. Exactly. And I think the US is doing its part too, to throw things under the rug. Unbelievable. Next tweet. Let's pause this. 6 years to the exact date when the royal family instructed the UK media to open full-on war on Prince Harry and Meghan. 6 years of the British monarchy hiding tens of thousands of emails about Prince Andrew's betrayal of his country and his monarchy while monstering the Sussexes. 1 minute and 48 seconds. You know what just came to mind? Whatever happened to Harry, the lawsuit between Harry and the Daily Mail? I didn't hear a thing about it. Not a thing. Let me pause and see. I'll play this video, but since it came to mind, let me see how that went, because nobody reported. I didn't see anything on Twitter about it. Okay, so my question is, how big is that? Okay, how did the lawsuit end between Prince Harry and the Daily Mail? And I put 2026 to make sure I'm talking about this year's lawsuit. Okay, the lawsuit brought by Prince Harry and other high-profile figures against the publisher of the Daily Mail did not conclude with a definitive verdict in 2026. After 10 weeks of intense arguments, the trial at London's High Court concluded on March 31st, 2026, with the judge announcing that the ruling will take several months. Okay, so they never really bring the result. Okay, you could pause and read. I didn't hear a thing. Not a thing about it. Whatever I came across, I share it. Okay, so now back to this. I'm sorry, it came to mind while I was thinking about this. So let's listen. 1 minute and 48 seconds. That's the video regarding Prince Andrew thing.
The scandal involving Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has deepened for the royals. Court documents suggest Buckingham Palace has known for years about allegations the former prince was sharing government secrets when he was Britain's trade envoy.
Tonight, Buckingham Palace is under the spotlight. Court documents revealing 30,000 emails were handed to the palace 6 years ago, alleging former Prince Andrew was sharing confidential government information while working as the UK's trade envoy.
Which means the Queen must have known. The Queen knew.
The emails provided to Lord Chamberlain in 2020, the most senior officer in the royal household. The former prince is being investigated for misconduct in public office, including sexual offences linked to the release of the Epstein files. Accused of sharing sensitive government information with business contacts, including the convicted pedophile. Explosive emails believed to have been taken from a personal business contact of the former prince provided to the palace after this interview.
I don't recollect that photograph ever being taken.
And you don't recollect having your hand round her waist in Ghislaine Maxwell's house?
An interview that ultimately led to the then Duke of York stepping down as a working royal. From the palace tonight, since there is an ongoing police inquiry concerning Mr Mountbatten Windsor, it is not possible to provide any comment on these matters. These emails raise questions over who knew what and when, and why the King's brother was allegedly protected for so long. The former prince denies receiving personal gain from his role as trade envoy. In London, Isabel Mullen, 7 News.
They all knew. They all knew. May they all rot in hell for what they did to Meghan and Harry. I second this. Meghan told you when she spoke with Oprah, they will lie to protect other members of the family, but will not tell the truth to protect me and my husband. They have always known about Andrew's activities. There's the heart here. If I knew there was an alleged perv uncle in my family and my kids were small and vulnerable, I would pack my bag, grab my kids, and run as far away as I could. H.R.H. Henry did the right thing. Well, this William kicked them out. Okay, keep that in mind. And I'm pretty sure Meghan would have made sure her kids stay far away from them. Okay, that, or who knows, maybe in the future she probably would have left too with Harry. Now that the Queen passed, they probably would have left. That's exactly what happened, using Harry and Meghan to distract people from knowing the truth about Andrew. What a ruthless family. All right, let's go to the next tweet. All right, so what is this here? A book is being written by Christopher Anderson, and will feature KK Kate. The title is Cage the Courage, Grace and Power of the Woman Who Will Be Queen. My question to Anderson is, which Kate is he writing about using this adjective? Surely can't be KK Kate Middleton. Bet that is going to be 95% about Meghan. Old and fabricated stories and a new jacket, trying to clear Kate's name for the 1000th time. Anyway, what courage, grace, and power are they talking about? The courage, grace, and power of lying and spreading lies. Exactly. Bet it's higher than 95%. I wait to see any royal book that has been published since Duchess of Sussex joined the Moronic mob that hasn't mentioned Harry and Meghan. That's the only way they rehash lies sell. Writing fictional stories for a royalist is their proudest achievement. That book will be dissected in 2 minutes. That's how quick Kate Middleton reads. If her curriculum vitae only takes 1 page, oh my god, where on earth does the meat come from? Alright, let me leave that alone. Let's go to the next one. They just want to put this for the future. Oh my god, why sometimes Alright, that's the next tweet. Angela watches every headlines and comments every day. If Harry or Meghan make a move, she always has her say. Their lives seem to fascinate. No matter what they do, perhaps the greatest royal mystery is why they occupy her view. There's all of this. Oh my god. She's too full of hate. Angela is dangerously fixated on the Sussexes. She should be on a watch list. I agree. Angela Levin is ugly. Okay, so that's all of that. Okay. These are adults. These are adults. Every time I think of these, when there are some people who's trying to do good in the world, and these people are, let me pause this, or spreading lies and hate. It reminds me when Harry was talking about journalism. There are some people who's risking their lives, and there are some, you know, risking their lives to bring the truth to people, and there are some who just muddy the waters, spread lies.
What I really don't like, and what I find hard to make peace with, is that there are some people on one end of the spectrum who are sitting behind their keyboards writing dangerous or defamatory headlines, knowing that it's going to work as clickbait because any context in the rest of the article protects them and there's nothing you can do about it. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have Nobel Prize winners like Maria Ressa, who's literally putting her life on the line, and war correspondents who, again, are putting their lives on the line to bring us the truth. So that, to me, is the spectrum. And my life has been covered by this end of the spectrum, which I will be damned if those journalists are going to ruin journalism for everybody else because we depend on it so much.
Next tweet. Meghan haters are weird. 51 seconds. There's no comments, okay? So let's...
How can a British national television bring on someone to say this?
It's not like towards her, Sonia. It's actually, I will say this, I hate the kind of bombastic perspective that this particular person, Meghan, is somehow better than everybody else, and she is somehow pretending to give us something that's actually going to be something we're going to be able to follow. Nobody's going to follow those recipes. Nobody makes tea bags for their guests to have a bath. I mean, they're lucky if they get fresh towels.
Your guests will be lucky if they get fresh towels.
The reason why I'm laughing is that it's completely out of touch and completely divorced from reality.
Come on, guys, we can do so much better. What do you mean this is completely out of touch? What happened to England being a place where people had manners and people had courtesy and people were raised well, you know, to treat guests with respect and kindness? And what happened to that England? This is honestly ridiculous. Some of us had home training, okay? Yeah, thank you.
That's it. Nothing to say. It's just showing who she is. Oh my God, why is this keeps on going? Alright, so there's another video here. Okay, so there's no caption. It's 47 seconds. Let's listen.
Meghan Markle was made a villain by the British tabloid press. They wrote stories about her that were racist, that were misogynistic. They just didn't like the fact that she was biracial, that she was American, that she had been an actress, that she was divorced. It was about race.
Okay, she's making reference to, what's his name? What's that guy? Oh my God. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan said that. Here's the clip where he said that.
She's mixed race, she's American, she's a divorcee, actress. Those are 4 ticks. No member of the royal family, the senior members, ever thought they would see having to be ticked.
And it was about class, and it was about the fact that she was just a woman in general. Like, she was a victim of some disgusting, horrible stories and headlines written in the press, and still is today.
It's sad.
And I think with that level of scrutiny and attention, there was a backlash, not just from the Sussexes, but also from other players in the royal family, because where was their place? Are they being upstaged? You know, because they were being upstaged. It was all about Harry and Meghan.
Meghan Markle was made
and Harry and Meghan then asked to be upstaged. It's the media who decided to put them on that pedestal and make the others jealous. Okay, proof, show us the stories. I don't have time. Where will I find that video? I have it on my personal... Let me see something. But it's embedded in so many other things. The video of Piers Morgan. Let's leave that alone. Next tweet. So there's that. Watching William unravel and his increasingly unhinged behavior become harder to ignore, I'm reminded that even Princess Diana recognized from an early age that he lacks self-regulation. It may have been cute in a toddler, but it's alarming in a 43-year-old man-child. Yeah, I've said this. Princess Diana, the only person who could have guided him and teach him was Princess Diana. But William's very enthusiastic about things, explained Diana, who was reluctant, like her husband, to be judgmental of their boisterous elder son and heir. He pushes himself right into it. Diana referred obliquely to the issue of her 2 sons' different temperament. In an interview that year, Harry is quieter and just watches, she said. Number 2 skates and quite nicely, but he had luck about being number 1. It's trial and error, so we're open-minded about William. That's those image, man-child. Oh my God. And then the palace is allowing it to happen. They actually probably encouraging him to continue that nonsense. It's unbelievable. Alright, he's a mess and possibly bipolar or ADHD couple with narcissism from being fawned over by courtiers, etc. Okay, this is small. Okay. fawned over courtiers, etc. All his life, Diana was the only one, along with Prince Harry, who knew the truth about Raging Willie, as Charlie was an emotional absent dad on the whole. I've always felt he needed early psychological intervention. Sadly, there was fawning instead, which didn't help. The little spiteful, jealous brat grew into an even bigger spiteful, jealous man-child. He, like his mumbling wife, are incandescent with rage that they are never going to be in the same league as Harry and Meghan. That big boy was no toddler when Diana checked him. Billy's behavior was not cute then, nor now. Yeah, he was doing a lot of things that wasn't good. There's so many images, him trying to touch, I believe, a teacher behind, and him hitting the father behind the head. Almost everything you see about him is negative. Unfortunately, it appears the window was missed to help him with that lack of self-regulation. That golf club to the head probably didn't help any. Yeah, they said when he was younger, he got hit in the head with a golf club. It's not funny, but hey. Oh my God. Next tweet. Alright, look at him. Oh my God. Prince William will take great pleasure in booting out Prince Harry and Meghan. I responded to that. Alright, so there's this. I just shared that video. I'm not gonna play it again. I think this is the problem these leftovers are having or facing. Alright, I just played that. That's the Andrew debacle. And also that. He did that already. Is he having any great pleasure yet? Remember him kicking Harry out? He already did that. So what is he talking about? And Harry and Meghan are not in the UK. Next tweet. Look at this. Oh my God. It's clear there's currently a lot of panic among monarchists as it becomes increasingly obvious that William is going to be a complete disaster as king. The reality is that he was always a disaster. The firm simply used Harry as the slave and scapegoat to distract from and cover for William's many shortcomings. I'm telling you, if certain things don't happen and then they let Israel, those Jews, take further fuel and power, and they will back William up, and that's gonna even be worse. Alright, a look at the Wells family dynamic. Kate and the nanny takes the children skiing while Willie Macbeth stay behind, likely an online forum. Seems he's rather be by himself than spend time in his wife's company. Maybe tomorrow it's be his time with the kids and the nanny. Crisis PR. Indeed, it was always known Princess Diana tried to discipline Prince William, but was told that the firm will raise him, and raise him they did without discipline and left him spoiled, arrogant, incandescent with rage, and worse, the feeling of entitlement. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip could tell Charles a tad, William 0. 100% true. The whole family is watching that drunk in disgust. He probably just got out of bed while the rest is ready to or just returned from skiing. The nanny is pretending not to hear him. This looked like an established pattern in that family. Oh yes, they've been covering for him for years. It's becoming harder to do that. Look at how the kids looking at him so weird. Oh my God, and this is what the kids are learning from. Oh my God, those young boys. The second, what is it? The second is the girl. What is it? The first and the last one. Next tweet. William needs to sit the F down and shut up. No one is eager to see William on the throne because he's fundamentally lazy and useless, and everyone knows it. Okay, what is this? Can I see it? I'll enlarge it when I'm editing. Trouble behind palace walls. Prince William is apparently growing increasingly concerned about King Charles' health as the monarch continues to power through royal duties despite his ongoing cancer battle. See what sources are claiming exclusively. You know, as I'm reading this, you know what I'm thinking? Look how we don't talk about Camilla and what she did to Princess Diana. This is the time where we should have been talking about that. The pain and suffering, the gaslighting she put Princess Diana through. We're not talking about that. Unbelievable. And she's just enjoying herself, being at the throne and enjoy the perks. I'm telling you, she played those people very well. She knows how to play the game. Nobody's talking about her. All right? Because right now, this would have been the time where she would have been under scrutiny. But instead, hey, the papers, this is why she catered to the papers, dancing with those royal rats and stuff like that. They shift all whatever that's going on away from her. Meanwhile, she's probably where? Vacationing with her kids, or enjoying, lounging, and do whatever. You see, when they go on engagement, when she goes on engagement with Charles, she doesn't even want to be there. She show her face and like, I'm out of here. Even though she signed up to be doing all of that, but the thing that she wants to do, she's doing it behind the scene. Oh my Lord. She played the people very well, Charles in particular. Next tweet, and then embarrassed the country as a whole. William should take over King Charles' royal duties. The king is elderly and unwell. Charles has waited for years to be king. He won't give it up to William. Yeah, I have that thumbnails where, what did I call it? The longest intern or something like that. Here it is. He's not gonna give it up to William. You can't call Charles lazy. He actually did things as Prince of Wales. That's true. He did. He has a legacy besides being king. William is 43 with no legacy. He has no work ethic. He's lazy. What is it? That earth shot that he created. At first he had good sound, but later on, I don't know, since he went to Brazil is a different story. All right, it's now become a for-profit kind of thing.
And the community that's come around them has been truly phenomenal. I'd like it to be bigger, and at many points this is a rallying call for those businesses and those people who are out there who may not have had contact with the Earthshot Prize before, may be interested. They need to come and meet these people, because once you've met them and you've heard them, you realise this is not anything that's it's not philanthropic. It's not a nice thing to have. They're commercial products. They're commercial products that are going to make life better. They're going to create jobs. They're going to do incredible things for the planet, and they're going to make our lives better and healthier.
So the king powered through his moral duties while unwell, as William attends soccer, and the king is the problem. Prince William married a woman whose mother raised her daughters to use their body to entrap a wealthy man. It worked, but at a cost of being embarrassment. She taught them how to use the honeypot, and she taught them, well, straight up gold diggers and grifters. Meghan could never have been friends with a hoe. Prince William married a woman whose mother raised her daughters to use their body to entrap a wealthy man. She taught them how to use the honeypot, and she taught them, well, straight up gold diggers and grifters. Meghan could never have been friends with a hoe. He's gonna try something stupid out of desperation, like a declare him senile or worse. He needs to be watched. I'm so serious. So there's all of that. Next tweet. About William. I don't know what's going on in the UK. Next tweet. They should have been paying attention to their own bullying staff instead of manufacturing fake bullying allegation against Meghan. It's no surprise at all that a household belonging to bullies employ bullies. It's not funny, but hey, I posted that on my community board already. That was posted yesterday. Inside Kate Middleton and Prince William's inappropriate staff scandal, a female employee of Kate Middleton and Prince William has reportedly made a complaint against misogynistic police officers working at the couple's residence, Kensington Palace. Please. Let me black this. Nonsense. Right, this has always been a source of confusion for me. Meghan is a bully, but Charles, Andrew, and William received the good old boys treatment. Come on, exactly. Meghan has her history working with high-level people, group of people. Every single person that worked with Meghan always have praise.
Really interesting because while I've worked with larger NGOs, or I've also worked with really small grassroots organizations where you can see a higher level of impact, in my opinion, because there's a lot less red tape. What you're seeing here, and what I noticed with Heads Together from a global perspective, because I wasn't here obviously when it was happening, was the power of convening all of these smaller organizations who have the same issue but need that extra push and support.
As we have got to know more about Meghan, we've learnt that she is someone who is also very sincere in her advocacy for charities. Is that something that you were aware of when you were making the show?
I remember early on, I think it was season 1 or season 2, she realized when we were finished with the crew lunches or dinners that a lot of times they were throwing the food away. And she thought it was crazy. Why are we throwing food away when there are people that are hungry around and we could give it to them? And she'd gone up the chain to try to get this food to be given away to people that were hungry. And there was some sort of policy or insurance or some bureaucracy that was getting in the way. And Meghan, this kind of sums up Meghan. She sees a problem. There's some sort of impediment to it that doesn't really make sense. She decides this impediment is harming people that are hungry from getting food. And I don't know how she did it, but the next thing you knew, we gave the food away to the hungry people. So.
And also we're all in Toronto where we film the show, so we become a little family. So really I think we all sort of lean on each other. I don't have to balance 2 beautiful little girls like Sarah does, but she does it so well, and like I think we all just manage to support each other with whatever comes up.
I'll give you an example. I was working till 4:30 in the morning on a Friday night, and my husband was traveling for business, and on Saturday morning at 7:30, right about 20 minutes after the kids woke up, my front door bell rings, and it's Meghan with scones and Starbucks, and we turned on cartoons, and the girls were like, what is this amazing thing called a scone? And we let them eat them in bed and get crumbs everywhere, and it was just exactly what I needed, you know, off in Toronto, and really, really delirious morning to have my friend show up and save me.
How would I not do it? I mean, we're about to start filming season 4.
But the second she walked into that palace, Next tweet. That's a quote here. William and Harry were discussing their futures with their mom. Young William sweetly said, when I grow up, I want to be a policeman and look after you, mommy, wanting to protect her from the constant press attention. Whatever, he said that with Matt Lauer, it's a US-based who was interviewing both of them. But when you hear Harry talk about what he wanted to do, it's exactly what he did. Work in Africa with here's the, you know what, I'll share the entire clip that I have. Usually I'll take little portion here and there, whatever I'm talking about in the video, but this is the entire interview. Here it is.
What?
Well, when I was younger I wanted to be a policeman, but I wouldn't want to be that now.
Most popular cop on the block.
Exactly.
What would you want to do?
I think I don't know. It's a really tricky question. It goes through my head lots. I'd like to fly helicopters, definitely. I'd like to be some sort of heli-pilot, you know, working for the UN maybe or something like that. Go off and do some, you know, I'd have to be doing something active outside and doing sort of fun stuff, but with an edge to helping people.
How about you, Harry?
He'd probably sit in and play computer games and drink beer.
Thanks a lot. No, I honestly, I don't know how well this would get out, but I'd probably live in Africa. I'd like to spend all my time out there.
In a humanitarian
both. It would be a humanitarian aspect and as well as a sort of safari aspect. As a job, it'd probably be a safari guide, and then
it'd be really good for me because he wouldn't be around, you see, so I get the highest to myself.
At the same time, you know, splitting my time between a charity, you know, in the suit, probably the suit as well. If I became normal tomorrow, then I'd have
that word normal comes up a lot, doesn't it? It really is. It's kind of the holy grail out there.
I feel abnormal.
And you've been to the United States. You spent a little time in Tennessee. You mentioned Disney World. What are your impressions of the U.S.?
Horrible.
Oh my God! No.
You know that's the headline.
Yeah, exactly.
Harry calls U.S. horrible.
No, I think it's such an amazing place. It's so vast on such a massive scale, and there's so much to do, and it's so different.
I love America. I think it's brilliant. I have a really good time when I'm over there. Everyone's really friendly, welcoming, and yet they're very good at sort of not being too invasive. No, it's cool, and it'd be nice to get back to America sometime soon.
Okay, so let's listen to this. So pretty much Harry did everything that he wanted to do. Let's listen to this.
To be king, but he once had his eyes set on an entirely different profession, and it was all because of his mother. Diana's biographer, Andrew Morton, revealed that as young boys, William and Harry were discussing their futures with their mum. Young William sweetly said, "When I grow up, I want to be a policeman and look after you, mummy," wanting to protect her from the constant press attention. But a young Prince Harry quickly brought his older brother back to reality, firing back, "Oh no, you can't. You've got to be king."
Harry was always living in reality.
A wonderful new label is Diana's unstable, and Diana's mentally imbalanced. And unfortunately, that seems to have stuck on and off over the years.
I would like to thank Lord Dyson and his team for the report. It is welcomed that the BBC accepts Lord Dyson's findings in full.
What Princess Diana was talking about in that particular clip, which I have, is about postpartum depression. She said, if you don't know about it, how are you gonna treat it? And then the palace uses that, her postpartum depression, as something else. I have the clip where she talks about it.
What was the family's reaction to your postnatal depression?
Well, maybe I was the first person ever to be in this family who ever had a depression, or was ever openly tearful. And obviously that was daunting, because if you've never seen it before, how do you support it?
What effect did the depression have on your marriage?
Well, it gave everybody a wonderful new label. It's Diana's unstable, and Diana's mentally imbalanced. And unfortunately, that seems to have stuck on and off over the years.
Are you saying that that label stuck within your marriage?
I think people used it, and it stuck. Yes.
All right, let's continue with that.
Which are extremely concerning. That BBC employees lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother, made lurid and false claims about the royal family, which played on her fears and fueled paranoia. It brings indescribable sadness to know that the BBC's failures contributed significantly to her fear, paranoia and isolation that I remember from those final years with her.
I think paranoia is a very interesting word, because yes, then it could be paranoia, but then when you're vindicated, it proves that you weren't being paranoid. You know, same with my mother.
See, this is why Harry went to court and made those the paper apologize, and which they did. I have the quote, here it is. Okay, he made them apologize to his mom, but the other brother, oh my God.
Yeah, there is evidence to suggest that she was being hacked in the mid-90s, probably one of the first people to be hacked, and yet still today the press, the tabloid press, very much enjoy painting her as being paranoid. But she wasn't paranoid. She was absolutely right of what was happening to her. And she's not around today to find out the truth.
He called her paranoid. Not once, but twice. And when I say him, I mean Prince William. And as you can see the contrast between both clips, Harry didn't gaslight his mother. He made sure to honor her. And that's what Prince Harry's been doing this entire time. Because if you haven't noticed, how...
Prince William was born to be
so
king.
That's it. One man who's Prince Harry is making his mom and his wife's tormentors pay for all the wrongs they've done to them, and the other is co-signing up and happy smiling with his mom's tormentors and literally criminals. There's a big difference between the two. One is a hero, the other is a loser. There's that here. At their core, Prince Harry and Willie are two different individuals. Harry instinctively stands for fairness and justice, while Willie instinctively stands for oppression and justice. In a world where your values reflect your character, be a Harry, not a Willie. Alright, so there's that.
But he won't.
Why William is such a loser, even a blind man can see what the press and the royals were doing to Diana. It's exactly the same thing they're doing to Meghan. Luckily, Prince Harry made sure that in 30 years, it is not Prince Archie saying his mother was paranoid for George and Kate. They are trying to project Big Harry's qualities on Little Willie to strength. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Alright, so that's that. Next tweet. Alright.
Levinaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.